How is it going, everybody? Sean Ross here, and I hope you guys are doing well. And I do want to apologize that this review is coming out later than usual. Some of you guys might have been like, wait a minute, did Sean just stop doing the reviews? Don't worry, guys. I am here to give you guys my review on chapter 199, and I will also be catching up with chapter 200's review. So then hopefully by next week with chapter 201, I will be back on track because I love getting to do these reviews. I love just getting to analyze the chapters just a little bit more in depth, seeing what's actually going on in each page and in each section. And plus, I just love getting to talk more about My Hero Academia with all of you guys. So, with all that being said, let's dive in and let's talk about and discuss chapter 199 of My Hero Academia, which was entitled Operation New Improv Moves. And I've gone back and reread this chapter, and chapter 199 can mainly be divided into two halves. The first half of this chapter mainly pertains to the flashback with Hawks and Tokoyami, covering the internship and the work study, and the inspiration behind Tokoyami's new ultimate move. And then the second half of this chapter, we dive back into the second match with Momo's squad going up against Kendo's squad. We get to see in all of its glory this new ultimate move, Black Fallen Angel, by Tokoyami, where he basically now has the ability to fly. Class A kind of gains the upper hand for a brief moment where they kind of incapacitate Kurohiro, and then for the cliffhanger of this chapter, Class B gains some of that control back, and this match right now is still far from over, and I'm very curious to see how many more chapters, how much longer this second match is actually going to be. So getting to see all of this go down between Class A and Class B during these battle training exercises is one of the main reasons I have been really loving this arc, but I am just really glad that Horikoshi has finally decided now is the time to give the spotlight over to Class B. I have been waiting to learn more about these characters, and I think many of you guys have been feeling the same, and I love learning these characters' names, their personalities, but most importantly, learning about their quirks and their abilities. So far with these first two matches, we have learned a lot about these characters, some that are very subtle, but some that are also very big, and learning about their powers. I loved what we learned in the first match, and I am loving what we are seeing thus far in the second match. Just looking at Kurohiro's character, I love the fact that he is basically just like Tokoyami is in Class A. He is a dark edgelord of Class B that likes to revel in the dark, and with his quirk of black, it has become one of my favorite quirks thus far of Class B. And then looking at the cliffhanger of this chapter, the tease that we are getting with Mushroom Girl, with Kanoko, I can't wait to learn more about her character. And then still waiting in the wings, we have the manga character, and I cannot wait to talk about his quirk and Kanoko's quirk in my chapter 200 review. So we are getting some good developments thus far with Horikoshi going in depth with Class B during this battle training exercise, but it does not mean that he's ignoring Class A entirely, because one of the main focuses of this chapter has to do with Tokoyami's development and growth, because the second half of this chapter, we get to see his ultimate move of Black Fallen Angel on full display, but it all ties into the flashback going to the internship and work study, where you actually get to see the growth that Tokoyami has gone through under Hawks' tutelage ever since the sports festival came to an end. So for the start of this chapter, we go all the way back to the start of the internship arc, and we get to see what Tokoyami was doing with his internship under Hawks. And the main thing that we get to see right off the bat on this very first page is not only is Tokoyami having a hard time keeping pace with Hawks, but he's also having a hard time keeping up with Hawks' sidekicks. And this is cool to see because this is coming off of the sports festival, where we saw Tokoyami place third, and we all thought he was very powerful and a very cool character, but this just goes to show he is still a student at UA who lacks the experience out in the field that the sidekicks and Hawks has, and he has a lot of room to grow and develop. And as we make our way through this flashback, we get to see the growth that Tokoyami goes through to where eventually he ends up impressing Hawks, which I really do like getting to see. But it's during that week-long internship, Tokoyami is having a hard time understanding why Hawks actually recruited him. And of course, Hawks jokingly states, well, I saw a fellow bird who placed third at the sports festival, so I figured I'd bring you under my wing. Birds of a feather might as well flock together. But he ends up telling Tokoyami the main reason is that he wants to gain some intel and learn about the USJ attack and learn more about the League of Villains, because this is right before he's about to start doing his undercover work with the League of Villains. So this kind of pisses off Tokoyami just a little bit because he feels like he's not really gaining anything from this internship. He just feels like a carrier pigeon and ends up going back after this week internship feeling like he really learned nothing. And so that kind of ends off the week-long internship, but I really do like this little connective thread that goes all the way back to volume 6. In the small panel on page 2, when someone asks Tokoyami, how'd things go in Kyushu? And if you go back to chapter 46, you will actually see a small panel of Kirishima talking with Tokoyami to where he points him in the direction of said city. And I know this detail is very small and a lot of you guys might not find it important, but for me, I like getting to see these small connective threads connecting these chapters together, because this really does go to show that Horikoshi had some of the details of Tokoyami's internship planned way back when, and he was just going to reveal more about it in a future chapter, and that's exactly what we're getting in chapter 199. So I love getting to see that. But this right here kind of brings us to an end of the internship part of the flashback. And we end up flash forwarding to the work study part, to where we get to see the growth and development of Tokoyami on full display right here, because he has currently gone through the provisional license exam and developed some ultimate moves. And as we get to see, he is using the Black Abyss shadow armor to not only outpace Hawks' sidekicks, but he's also keeping pace with Hawks himself. The man that is too fast for his own good, the man that goes too fast, has someone keeping pace with him. And this ends up impressing Hawks to where he's like, well, you do have potential after all, Tokoyami. And this ends up leading into a very nice one-on-one private conversation between Hawks and Tokoyami. But before that can take place, Hawks has to take Tokoyami for a night flight, and this is probably my favorite panel of this chapter, to where in typical Tokoyami fashion, he is just so impressed by the fact that they have become the wind during this section. And of course, this is Tokoyami's first time flying, which is just a very cute panel overall. But leading into the conversation that Hawks has with him, I absolutely love this, because he sees the potential in Tokoyami and sees wasted potential in there as well. And he likes the fact that Tokoyami is working on his weaknesses, but he should work on his strengths as well, because they are both birds. And as he says in this chapter, those who can fly should. Why keep yourself grounded? That's some savvy advice coming from Hawks within this moment. And I think the moment kind of gets enhanced just a little bit due to the fact that they are landing on top of a skyscraper and then proceeding to stare out at the skyline of the city that they are destined to protect. But I like this advice coming from Hawks because he's pointing out to Tokoyami he has great potential with his quirk, but currently with the way that he is using it, he's wasting a lot of that potential. So if he improves upon the way that he thinks about his quirk, he will be able to reach his fullest potential and then literally be able to soar and fly above everyone else. So that advice right there, it was a good way to transition into the current events of the second match, to where Tokoyami is ready to unveil the new ultimate move that was inspired by the words and also the night flight that he had with Hawks as he's about to go up against Kurohiro. But Kurohiro, aka Vanta Black, which I just gotta say is a great hero name for his character, has been playing mind games this entire time with Class A, but specifically with Tokoyami, to where he wants them to believe one thing, but then he's going to do something differently entirely. He is building up this fated rivalry one-on-one match between Tokoyami and himself, but what he plans to do is sneak behind them and just pick them off one at a time by using his quirk. And the first one he goes after, he just grabs a hold of Aoyama's cape and just drags him through the environment. Because currently with his knowledge of Class A, he knows that Tokoyami does not have the speed or the mobility to keep up with him. But then this is when we get the reveal of Tokoyami's new ultimate move, Dark Shadow, Black Fallen Angel, to where now Tokoyami literally soars above everyone else. He has the ability to fly thanks to Dark Shadow. And he just swoops in, grabs a hold of Aoyama, and rescues him from Vanta Black. And I do have to state this, I wasn't too impressed with the overall look of this ultimate move. I think I might have hyped it up just a little bit in my head, but you cannot deny the fact that Tokoyami has the ability to fly. That is crazy, that is awesome. I love the fact that he now has this ability, but it is also really cool that it was inspired when he was flying with Hawks, because Dark Shadow holding Tokoyami looks very similar to the way when Hawks was holding him a few pages back. But it's just awesome to see that our edgelord Tokoyami now has the ability to fly. And once he ends up rescuing Aoyama, Momo just immediately gets Class A back on the offensive and comes up with a game plan. She orders Aoyama, as Tokoyami is carrying him, to just start shooting his naval lasers in every direction, and he's shooting them out so rapidly that it's actually stopping Kurohiro from using his quirk, because the lights and beams are moving around so quickly, it's distorting all the shadows within the environments. Vanta Black cannot keep up and thus starts falling from the pipes. He can no longer use his quirk with all of these naval lasers flying around everywhere. So Momo orders Toru to move in and capture Vanta Black, and it almost looks like Class A is about to have the advantage and capture their first person. But as we come to see, Class B moves in with Plan B as we see a mushroom begin to grow on Momo's nose, and then we proceed to see Kanoko, our mushroom girl, moving into the battle, just spreading mushrooms everywhere and saving Kurohiro from his current situation. So this goes to show that Class B had a plan in place in case Kurohiro failed, and that should really come as no surprise because Momo and Kendo have been compared to each other so much. We know they're both strong, and we know they're both smart. So if Kendo has plans A and B set up, that also leads us to believe that she has plans C, D, F, and G in the back burner, just in case Kanoko with plan B ends up failing as well. So Kanoko ends up moving in. No one has been captured just yet, and we get to see a little bit of the personality of Kinoko, our mushroom girl. I like what I get to see. I like the way she's sticking out her tongue and the cross like design that she has in her eyes. We will definitely learn more about her quirk in chapter 200, and so far the only quirk that we still have not seen yet from Class B is the manga guy, and I cannot wait to talk about his quirk in the next chapter review. But yeah, this so far, we did not get our rivalry, I guess, between Kurohiro and Tokoyami, but this is definitely going to come down to Momo and Kendo and who can lead their team to victory, because we know Momo has gone through good character development. She's able to think on her feet and spur of the moment decisions, but will she be able to outsmart Kendo and come out on top in this match? Because many people so far want Class B to win this match, and I'm kind of right there with them because Class B needs to win some matches, but with the team that we have with Class A, I would also not be upset if Momo's team wins as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see which team is going to come out on top. So with that, guys, that right there is my review on chapter 199. Again, I apologize for this being a really late review, but you guys can definitely expect my review for chapter 200 coming very, very soon. But now I definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts on this chapter. If you guys forgot anything about it, definitely go reread it and give me your guys' thoughts. What were your positives? What did you like about this chapter? What did you think about Tokoyami's new ultimate move? And which team do you guys have coming out on top, Class A or Class B? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, guys, and feel free to follow me on Twitter if you guys want to talk more about My Hero Academia. A link can be found in the description down below, and feel free to subscribe if you guys have not already so we can continue to talk about My Hero Academia with my live reactions and reviews. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me here, guys. So until my chapter 200 review for My Hero Academia or any other My Hero Academia review you guys see on my channel, I'll talk to you guys next time. But remember, go beyond, plus ultra.